unhappy, in love, but you just want to keep the man around.
Girl, that sound like fake diamonds. No.
So is it pressure from family? Is it pressure from friends? There is something about this man. He has everything. Oh, he's financially stable.
Yeah, he ain't
He's
the man
good
for
looking.
you, girl.
Yeah, the sex. Girl, the sex is good.
Yeah.
But there is something when he drives up
In that driveway, and you look out the window, and it's just like, he home.
So what do we do? Do we make the decision to make ourselves happy? Because again, he gives us everything. Do we give ourselves that happiness, that inner self, that feeding your soul?
Right.
Or do we just keep him around because he's good when, we need that +1?
I am not settling. I think settling is the root of how you get into relationships that are not fulfilling.
In marriages.
In marriages, yes.
Right.
Because it may have filled your love tank at some point, but you kind of, you learn each other and you've gotten to this point where you don't know how you got here. And so then it's kind of figuring out, how do I get to a place of happiness? How do I get to a place where I feel like I truly am in a place where, like, I love waking up to you. Like, I want to build this partnership with you. Like, you are.
Or not just staring at him in the bed.
It's not an obligation, but I want to be here.
Right.
And I think that is going back to understanding, are you in love, or do you just love that person?
Love that person. And is it important to have both?
I don't. I may love you enough to let that fish back into the pond and pull the fish that is made for me and be in love and live my best days.
And live your best days. He has, like I said, financial stability. He buys you just because gifts. He gives you good sex. I mean, the sex is the bomb. Hey, it's good. But there is something that is missing.
Yeah.
So do we sacrifice that something that is just not there for us? That, like you said, he drives up, he comes to the door, we put on emotion. Yeah. How was your day?
He's consistent.
He's consistent.
Yeah, he's reliable.
But it is not that hardcore where we want to feel happy. It's something. So do we just stay booed up just because we want to have a man? We go out, we talk about men. We have girls, we talk, and my man is good. But when I'm coming home, I don't feel
that fire to where you walk in the door and it's like, there's my man, like there's my boo,
but
there's my bag.
Do you confide in your girlfriend? Because then your girlfriend might take him from you.
Well, you know what? Depending on how good or bad, the girlfriend may not want him. But I think that, there is pressure in, maybe your audience, your family. I know I have felt it with people who are like, hey, are you still single? Like, you're not dating anyone.
So the pressure of having a man just like, because.
Do we frown upon and look down on people who have reached a certain level in their life, career, and accomplishments?
And age.
If they are not married or if they do not have a significant other, or are they handicapped in a sense of something's wrong with you because you can't keep a man. Or you can't keep a partner in your life?
So then we
create this fictional relationship, meaning it looks good, but is it really good? Like, is it feeding your soul?
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, right.
And so then it becomes, do you marry this person? And do you create children with this person?
And some do.
They do.
Some do.
I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Because, like I said, he has everything. So some may say, your best girlfriend, may say, Tiffany, really? Financial. He
put a roof over your head.
Right.
He go get your car washed.
Just
he opened the door.
He doesn't have that, inner soul.
It'll come.
Exactly.
No one's perfect.
So then you marry him.
Yeah.
So now we've moved into, you're really just
we have
still not happy.
We have property together. We have children together. We have created this life together. We go.
So all these years have passed.
Yeah.
And you are still missing that
happiness.
Inner
like,
soul
are
happy.
you like?
Are
Do you
happy?
love yourself enough?
But does the question go? You love him,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not in love with him. So is that the feeling that we are missing? Because there is a difference.
It is.
There's a difference. You can love everything about him.
Yes.
But if you don't have that love, that warmth, that feeling of missing him when he's, a day at work and things like that, that's what you're missing. So do you sacrifice all of that because it's just, as you say, one thing to make you happy?
But it may not be one thing, Karen. Like, it can be that I love you, but I love me more. And I love me more to want to fulfill my days and time on this earth with nothing but a smile on my face that hurts, right? Okay. And so it may not necessarily be that I don't love you. I may have been in love with you at some point, but that ain't the person for you. But I love you enough to let you go and let you be with someone who is going to love you the way you should be loved. And I love myself.
But a lot of us don't do that.
Yeah.
We stay.
Yeah.
We stay.
It's a lot of pressure.
Right.
It's a lot of
pressure.
Because
it goes back to you don't want to give up all the things that he has to offer because now family and friends are questioning why.
So what about a few years ago, this whole big thing came out about the 80-20, right? You have 80% of what you need and what you want, but that 20% you're never going to get out of a person because no one is perfect. We're not perfect, right? And so then it's like, well, if I let them go, or if I decide that I want to move on, am I then going to find a specimen that is going to fulfill those needs of what I did not have before, but he's still going to have a deficit in another area? Like, are you trying to obtain something that's not realistic? Like, is it realistic to say that you're going to get someone that you can be in love with and love at the same time?
But it goes to show, it shows, do you put yourself first?
Girl, yes.
Right. So that's the question. Because you're the one that's feeling this. Unhappy or this not this spark.
Yeah.
But do you settle?
Yeah.
And just say, you know what? I'll just deal with that. And some of us do.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the courage or the heart to say, to give up that 20%.
It's hard.
Because it's something that's missing, but we keep it going. We just keep going. And we add in more things.
And there are complications of why it would not make sense to then break up that relationship.
Because now time's invested.
Time's invested. You have other people who are invested. Like, you have things that you have to consider.
Because you want to go on that couples trip. And you
Girl,
need your
every year, and you don't want to be solo. Like, we judge the person at the restaurant who's sitting by themselves. So then when we think about
but that person's probably happy,
and that's the thing. Like, do you put yourself first and not take that chance of possibly not being in a relationship, or settle for the relationship that is not feeding your soul?
Not feeding your soul. I love that, feeding your soul. All right, so audience, you tell us, what feeds your soul?
What feeds your soul? And in your house, is your man really the person you in love with? Are you happy when he pulls into that driveway?
That's tough. All right. Till next time.